During the holiday season, we like to take an opportunity to highlight the interesting things happening in our community. Tonight, we're taking a look at a film about the charitable efforts of the Ghostbusters to help the Ronald McDonald House.
This is a story about movie fanatics, and cosplay, and toys, and parades, and Hollywood heroes, and general nerdiness.
Oh, Dan Aykroyd's coming, Dan Aykroyd is coming.
Yeah, I mean, before our movie came out, no one knew what ectoplasm was. Now millions of people know.
But at the same time, it's not really about any of that stuff. It's really about a group of friends who set out to help local families by raising money for Ronald McDonald House.
So whenever we do a parade or a birthday party or anything, all that we ask for our time is just a check made out to the Ronald McDonald House.
So the Ronald McDonald House, we're a caring home away from home. We support families that are going through a medical crisis with their child.
It's one of those things where you don't understand, the capacity of a program like that until you have to utilize it.
Good to see you!
I just want to take down the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man someday.
I'm Keith, and I've got to be honest here, I didn't know much about Ronald McDonald House when I started making this documentary. I initially wanted to make it because I grew up loving Ghostbusters. But over the course of the production, I felt a growing connection to Ronald McDonald House.
You really don't understand how many people have been affected or been impacted by these services until you delve into it.
I think it's because I'm a dad, and I realize how crucial it is that services like this exist. For the Twin Ports Ghostbusters, the ties to Ronald McDonald House run deep.
My cousin, who was 4 months old at the time, got leukemia, and he was like the youngest kid to ever get his own bone marrow taken out, treated, and put back in. And my aunt stayed at the Ronald McDonald House for a whole year.
She was born with a birth defect, so it was months of struggle. She had to be taken to the Ronald McDonald House.
Ever since kindergarten, I've just had a lot of health issues that I kind of grew up with and spent time at the Ronald McDonald House for a good couple weeks. The best part, you forget that you have all these medical tests coming up. You have the stress in your life. Like, you don't think of any of that when you're there.
Once I heard that my dad joined a Ghostbuster group, I was like, I need to join it because I want to, help the Ronald McDonald House.
This is a story about a great many things. Ecto-1s, proton packs, Stay Puft Marshmallow Men, Slimers. But to say that it's only about that stuff would be an oversimplification.
You'd never expect a tentpole film to be the most personal journey I ever went through as a storyteller, but that's exactly what it was.
You're the greatest storyteller I know, and I am the luckiest son on earth.
As the song goes, Bustin' makes me feel good, and the Twin Ports Ghostbusters love busting ghosts more than anyone. But at the end of the day, the real reason they're doing all of this is because it's spreading joy that makes them feel good. This is a story about nerds doing good. This adorable little guy is a paradog, one of many pieces of memorabilia you might find in the living room of a Twin Ports Ghostbuster.
The Ghostbuster toys, the original, real Ghostbusters.
In the movies and TV shows, these free-floating, full-torso, vaporous apparitions are the reason for the phrase, "Who you gonna call?"
And then he sees a ghost and he's like, ah! Ah!
But in real life, the Ghostbusters get called for events like birthday parties, parades, car shows, dances, and charity galas.
We usually get to get full access, which is pretty nice.
VIP?
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a lot of work to do here.
You guys have like a green room. This is so fancy.
It's not bad.
We're not a charity that's I don't want to say not a legit charity. We're not a licensed or 501c or whatever that stuff is that you have to do. So we don't accept cash. High five. So what we do is, someone says, hey, we're having a birthday party. How much do you guys charge to come to the party? And we'll say, we don't set an amount. It's whatever you feel like donating. And all we ask is, when we leave your event, that you have a check made out to Ronald McDonald House.
Are you the real Ghosty?
Yeah.
Ghostbuster?
when kids see you in the suit, in the car, with the proton packs? How do kids react?
They lose their minds. They either lose their minds and run full speed ahead at us, or they're like not sure that it's real and like it's a trick. Like, and they kind of like, they'll get a little shy, and it's always like the parents that'll tell us, like, he's the biggest fan on the planet. It's so weird that he's behaving this way. I think his mind is just blown.
Well done, my friend. Yeah, you know.
But of all the events I've been to with this group, this one random encounter is perhaps my favorite. There was a little kid in his front yard who freaked when he saw Ecto 1 driving by. And so the Twin Ports Ghostbusters, being who they are, stopped to hang out with the family for a while.
Just hearing the kids screaming, because we didn't exactly see the family we were driving by initially. We just heard the kids scream ecstatically, like, oh, we gotta go see them.
This chance encounter perhaps best illustrates the kind of people they really are. They're the kind of people who will stop and show kindness to strangers.
There's a lot of heart behind Ghostbusters. I think it just makes a lot of sense to be kind of working with charities that work with children a lot, simply just because of how inspired I was as a kid watching Ghostbusters.
Jay has the distinction of being the only member of this group who's actually stayed at a Ronald McDonald House.
And now as a Ghostbuster, it feels great to give back to the Ronald McDonald House and show them how grateful I am for everything they've done for me. And now I want to give back and be like, this is how grateful I am that you guys are here. And just to do it over and over and over again, it's just the best.
Today at 5, for the first time, a Ronald McDonald House is being built here in the Northland.
In Duluth, Minnesota, where the Twin Ports Ghostbusters are located, there wasn't a local Ronald McDonald House location until 2019, when construction began on the campus of the regional hospital, Essentia Health. Today, it's a fully functioning facility, and the Twin Ports Ghostbusters are able to support a charity operating in their own backyard.
I work at Mintac, which is a mining operation in northern Minnesota. They were going to give 12 awards out in the amount of $5,000 each for the charity of your choice. And I was one of the recipients this year. So they wrote a check for $5,000 to Ronald McDonald House.
Gotta help the king put on his robe.
So I absolutely love that the Ghostbusters recognize that, hey, these kids, it's more than just the patients in the hospital, it's the families, and how can we, you know, get rid of some ghosts and like let them feel better about the space that they're in, that they're feeling confident. And I absolutely love that, because it goes to show that people can think beyond, outside of the box for how to support these families. Think about what brings you joy and then contribute that to the families, because you don't know who really is going to resonate with.
When a child is sick, there's one thing they need: a really big cookie.
Welcome to RMHC.
And parents of sick children have tons of decisions to make. Like movie night, game night, or should we finish that book tonight? We don't perform surgeries, just talent shows. We're not big on poking sticks and beeping machines, but we're the best at playing dress up. Well, we have a few beeping machines. We think the tooth fairy should travel everywhere. And while hospitals have doctors and nurses, we have mom and dad. We don't provide treatment, but we do provide dogs. And we throw some really good parties. Because at Ronald McDonald House Charities,
We are home.
we help families feel at home, even when they can't be.
You're so right for me, and I'm right for you. I love the things you do, like sweet tasting wine. Your lips are so divine. Your loving turns me on. My lonely days are gone. That's why I'm never gonna let you go. Never gonna let you go. Babe, I'm never gonna let you go. No, no, never gonna let you go.
Here you go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
to eat apples and bananas. I need to eat apples and bananas. Why can't I eat apples and bananas?
Support the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks to help provide meals to those in need. Join us at feedingamerica.org.
Now, aside from doing charity work, one thing that brings the Twin Ports Ghostbusters a lot of joy is the car. But Jeremy's prized Ecto 1 has certainly seen its fair share of drama.
So I called the border agent and I said, hey, I'm buying this car from Canada. What do I need to do to make it legal to bring it into the U.S.? I get to the border with the car and the border agent said, well, you can't bring that in the U.S. And I was frustrated that I have this car that I can't have. He said, print this paperwork off, go back to Canada, do a U-turn, come back, and tell them that you're taking it directly to an importer. So then 6 weeks later, I had to go back. I was really nervous that I would have to get rid of the car.
I cut out about 75% of that story, and the reason I included that bit is that one day Jeremy agreed to let Matt and Clark borrow the car for an event.
So we will not go that way then, and we will go this way. And we'll make sure we're not hitting anything.
Oh, just a tree.
Little baby tree.
Was it really?
Anything?
No. Shh, don't
Is there a fun little... No, we good.
Hey, Matt, would you imitate what Jeremy's reaction would have been if he was here to see the tree incident?
He'd be like coming around the corner. Like, what? Come on, guys! You're like to take my car one time and you're gonna go run over a tree? All right, that's it. I'm starting my own franchise. So Jeremy hates the Ghostbusters 2 logo. I don't know if he's mentioned that.
No.
He's like, I hate that. That's nonsensical. It's like, as far as the story's concerned, that's just nonsense.
There's people out there all over the world that love Ghostbusters. We have families here that love them too, and we learned more recently that we have a super fan one too. So it just goes to show, you know, spread your own joy, what makes you happy, and it's gonna make our families happy. We're so grateful that people recognize that and share that passion with us too.
The superfan Tara is referring to is Jace. I met him during an interview about how his family utilizes Ronald McDonald House services.
I go to the hospital, I get a medicine called IVIG, and it helps my immune system work better so then I won't get sick.
Now that they have the Ronald McDonald House Northland, we're able to stay here, which is great. So we can come the night before, and it's a long day of treatment, so we're there for about 8 hours.
I didn't find out until later how much he actually loves Ghostbusters. And so Jace's parents, Tara, Matt, and myself all arranged to surprise Jace with a meeting with a real-life Ghostbuster.
I hear you're a big Ghostbusters fan.
Wow, that's pretty fancy.
Not bad, huh? It's on safety mode right now, so we don't, neutralize any fields. That's cool. And that's it. There we go. A little trading card for you.
Oh, that's so cool.
Like, every dream that you want to do is, like, acquirable.
Yes.
You can be a Ghostbuster, you can be Batman, you can be Superman, you can be whatever you want to be. No limitations on the imagination.
Hearing Matt encourage Jace to follow his dreams really struck a chord with me.
Ooh, okay, where to begin?
Because people always tell kids to chase their dreams.
I'm wanting to put these up on the wall here.
But when Matt says it, it carries real weight. Because he actually is living his childhood dream.
Well, I would say to my 7-year-old self, you will be a Ghostbuster someday. And just keep holding on to that dream. Oh, this is the slime blower. I had this as a kid. Man, I never would have thought as a 7-year-old that I'd be an actual Ghostbuster. But here we are.
Oh, man, I think you just made that kid's day.
Wow.
That was really awesome, dude.
That's what it's about. That's what it's all about. I wish I had a an actual Ghostbuster to look up to when I was a kid. I had to be my own Ghostbuster as a kid. I had to go and find my own stuff.
Could you imagine, maybe 15 years down the road or something, you're like still doing this, and you run into a 25-year-old Ghostbuster who says, "You guys came to my 10-year-old birthday party, and now I'm a Ghostbuster because I saw you guys doing it." Like, how amazing would that be?
That's what it would be all about. It would all be worth it just for that moment, really.
It wasn't long after Matt's surprise meeting with Jace that Tara reached out to me and asked if I thought the Twin Ports Ghostbusters would be willing to make an appearance at a Ronald McDonald House fundraiser that she was helping put together.
Waiting for Jeremy to get situated.
Their answer was, of course, yes.
Is it just me, or I feel like I'm in the Sedgwick Hotel right now?
It is very Sedgwick-like. Yeah.
You know, it just occurred to me. We haven't really tested any of this equipment. I blame myself, so do I.
So do I.
And I have to make sure, because I have 3 idols in the room right now, the Ghostbusters. We need to make sure we give them a round of applause because they took care of Slimer before we got here, just so everybody knows.
For me, this event kind of felt like a turning point for the documentary I'd been shooting with the Ghostbusters for over a year.
Hey, Matt, have a couple more drinks first.
Okay.
Many of the local people from the events I'd been privileged to film were reunited for a common purpose, Ronald McDonald House.
And so we are just very, very thankful for everything that the Ronald McDonald House has done for our family and continues and will continue to do for our family. Although Jace does not have a cure for what he has, he is thankfully able to receive treatment, and that will be lifelong for him.
It was great being able to see Matt catch up with Jace's dad.
How's he doing? He's doing really well, thank you.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay. Like improvements?
Yeah, I mean, he's, well, stable, which is good.
Okay.
Yes.
That's pretty good.
Yes, it's great.
And to hear that Matt's surprise visit with Jace would not soon be forgotten.
Got your picture in the shadow box.
What?
Yes.
Oh my God.
The thing that drives me every day as a dad is him. His real name is Darion, and we call him Day-Day for short. Every day he's hungry for something, whether it's affection, attention, knowledge. And there's this huge responsibility in making sure that when he's no longer under my wing, that he's a good person. I think the advice I would give is you don't need to know all the answers. The craziest thing was believing that your dad knew everything. So as a dad, you felt like you had to know everything. You had to get everything right. It's okay to make mistakes. Just do it from the right place. As long as it's coming from love, then, you know, it kind of starts to work itself out. I want him to be able to sit back one day and go, we worked together, we did a good job. I'll say my kid's pretty dope.
During high school, I hung with the wrong crowd and I never graduated.
I helped Santiago in many different ways, like all fathers do, because he always wanted to go to college.
I felt a little embarrassed to come back to school, but eventually, once I came here, I knew that it's for a bigger goal.
He was very dedicated, hardworking. He connected with his teachers. He connected with other students. That was one of the key reasons why he was able to keep forging ahead.
It was amazing to see him graduate. This was one thing that meant so much to him, and of course, it meant so much to us too.
With the help of my father and having my son, that was all the motivation that I needed. That support is everything.
Find free adult education classes near you at finishyourdiploma.org.
My baby's back from the West Coast.
Here are those pictures that you asked for your school project? First day of school, cute as a button.
So long ago.
Oh, here's Grandma Florence after that flood wiped out the whole neighborhood.
Sometimes I just cannot believe all the storms we've gone through here.
I can only hope that we'll be able to leave this house to you one day, baby. You're our legacy.
Planning for these disasters will make sure we're safe, and it's the best way to protect that legacy.
Those beans smell heavenly.
Give Mama a little credit.
You know what? We should make an emergency communication plan. That way we're ready this year.
Oh,
great idea.
At my dorm, we have emergency kits for earthquakes and wildfires, but I'm sure there's something more local I can send you with the link.
Okay.
Smart.
I'm coming to share with you guys.
Protect your legacy. Plan for natural disasters today. Visit ready.gov/plan.
So the Ghostbusters have visited us, and it is a highlight of the day for not only our kids, but also the parents.
We really get about 90% of our funds from local individuals and corporations and groups and people like the Lions Club or Ghostbusters or Girl Scout troops who raise money for us. And we really, really depend on local community members to support us.
They just love seeing us out in the community, and of course, they love the donations they get because that helps families, be near their children and not have the burden of having to find a hotel at $150 a night while they're just trying to be with their kids who are, in a really bad place in their life at the moment.
Jay's perspective on what it's like to stay at a Ronald McDonald House is, of course, a little different than the other guys.
My favorite part about it is in each room there's a little book that every patient and family got to write in and share their memories about being in the house and their trips there and what they're there for. That's my favorite thing, is just going through that book and reading it, and people read. They'll leave little gift cards or coupons in there. So like, if you're there, there's an ice cream shop you should really check out down the road. And it's that connection through that journal was the best part.
And does it, just like looking at your face as you tell me these stories, it's like it took this experience that might have been really, really hard and kind of turned it into a positive one?
Yeah, because being at the Ronald, they make you forget the real reason you're there, and they treat you like family, and you feel like you've known them for ages. And every time you go back there, like, welcome back! And it's a huge celebration just every time you go there.
And this got me thinking about the pairing of Ghostbusters and Ronald McDonald House, and if there was something about the Ghostbusters franchise that lends itself to community service involving kids. These guys could have chosen any franchise to obsess over. Why not Marvel, or Star Trek, or Ninja Turtles? Well, I guess sometimes they do obsess over Ninja Turtles. But why Ghostbusters specifically?
You can tell it really inspires those kids. You can see those kids' faces light up when they see you. They know who you are. There's times where I'm walking to events just from my car, like just to get over to where the ecto is or whatever. And you can hear people, they're like, a kid, someone maybe even around Eileen's age being like, that's a Ghostbuster, there goes a Ghostbuster, and they know what it is. And some of them haven't even seen it, and they know what it is. It's universal.
So today is, what's today?
Today is Ghostbusters Day, the greatest day of the year, next to Halloween.
And so are Ghostbusters all around the country out doing the same thing that you guys are doing today?
Yes. Everyone who is anyone who has a Ghostbusters franchise is out. They're out spreading awareness for their group. Yeah.
Come to Scotland. I live there. Oh, Scotland.
Oh, we can bust that giant lake monster for you.
There's groups in Scotland just like us. Yep.
There are. I've met a few.
A quick online search reveals that there are Ghostbusters groups like theirs all over the country, even all over the world. And almost all of those groups are involved in some type of community service. And that community service often benefits kids.
I'm the Buster Biker and Ecto B, and I raise money for St. Jude Children's Hospital.
We're with the Ghostbuster Rebels out of Northern Illinois. We work with the Galena Ghostbusters, South Shore Ghostbusters, and the Iowa Ghostbusters to raise money for the Children's Shriners Hospital, Chicago, Illinois.
We are the Wisconsin Ghostbusters, and we raise money for the Children's Miracle Network.
Because we all have that moment. We all have that moment where Ghostbusters calls out to you.
We're the Windy City Ghostbusters, and we raise money for the La Rabida Children's Hospital in Chicago.
We're the Kalamazoo Ghostbusters, and our charity is the Great Lakes Burn Camp.
We are the River Valley Ghostbusters, and we raise money for Med City Apraxia Awareness. You want me to turn on the lights? I can turn on the lights.
Well, if you want.
Ghostbusters groups like this have repeatedly gotten the attention of an organization called Ghost Corps, the division of Sony Pictures that handles all Ghostbusters-related productions. In fact, our very own Matt Rasmussen had the privilege of attending the world premiere of Ghostbusters Afterlife in New York City. I think it was Ghost Corps' way of saying thank you to the diehards who have helped keep the franchise alive over the decades. The director of 2021's Ghostbusters Afterlife, Jason Reitman, is the son of original Ghostbusters director Ivan Reitman.
I feel so intimidated to make this film.
At the premiere, he articulated what it really means to be a part of the Ghostbusters community.
This is a movie about the rest of us. The first two movies they were about the guys. This one is about us. All of us who always wanted to be Ghostbusters, including me, by the way. not everyone knows what you guys do. And what it means to wear this uniform the way you guys do, and the charity work that you guys do. It means so much to me, it means so much to my family.
And what really touched me about Jason's intro is how the making of this film was something of an ode to his childhood, and an ode to his family.
You never expect a tentpole film to be the most personal journey I ever went through as a storyteller, and that's exactly what it was. So, from my family, your family, enjoy Ghostbusters Afterlife. Thank you.
Yeah!
The narrative concept of the film Afterlife is that the Ghostbusters story could be never-ending, and that it could be passed down through the generations. And that's also what's informed the Twin Ports Ghostbusters over the years.
Getting able to run around as a Ghostbuster, being able to do it as a good cause, and being able to help anyone else who thinks they might want to be a Ghostbuster as well. It's a dream come true. It's a dream come true, and it's all positive. It all goes to a good cause.
It's nice to share my nerdiness and pass it on and pass it forward.
I get joy just knowing that something I enjoyed all those years I can still enjoy, and I can see another generation that's probably going to enjoy it for 40 years also.
When I was a kid in the 90s, my dad made me a ghost trap out of lumber, caution tape, and a potato salad lid. Part of me feels a pang of guilt when I look at it, because I think he could sense I was a little disappointed that it wasn't one of those plastic ones from Kmart. I unfortunately can't tell him today that it's one of my most prized possessions. And it got me to thinking, what is it about Ghostbusters specifically, and superhero-type characters more broadly, that inspires this sort of intense fandom? I feel that during the course of editing this documentary, I got so close to being able to answer that question, but it still eludes me somewhat.
I am the luckiest son on earth.
I think it has something to do with the universal desire to pass down the things you love to the people you love, but I'm not really sure.
She can be back when I was a kid, I used to dress up as a Ghostbuster with my dad. So it'd be cool.
We're the Windy City Ghostbusters, and we raise money for try again. We're the Windy City Ghostbusters, and we raise money for liability. It's in here somewhere. We're the Windy City Ghostbusters over here.
Did you know my first job was at McDonald's?
I did not know that.
Yeah, I started when I was 15. I was like, super excited to work. And then I worked in the drive-thru. And in the drive-thru, there was the Ronald McDonald House donation bin. So if there was like extra change, I would put it in there. That's it.
You're a true hero.